inflammatory breast cancer is one of the most aggressive cancer. It is rare, but it could be quite aggressive to the point that people who are diagnosed with disease is very aggressive. So we really need a new way to treat this disease. Now, whether that is IBC unique or not really depends on the clinical trials. Up to now, most of the clinical trials is really driven not unique to IBC, and many of the standard care in IBC is driven by non-IBC. Now that said, biologically, inflammatory breast cancer has a unique feature compared to non-IBC, such as immune microenvironment, being different. Like, we just talk about LMP7 or macrophage activations. So there are areas of details, biological research ongoing on the area. So if we are going to develop something new, it will not be simply that there's a genomic difference, because molecular genomic study has been done multiple times and we have not seen the difference. Rather, it will be more of identifying a different immune microenvironment that allows to develop some kind of novel immunotherapy. This is a really interesting and tough question to answer. So the forefront of artificial intelligence is not just the algorithm, but artificial intelligence could itself could write its own coding. So that means that if they could rewrite the coding by themselves, by AI writing a coding for the AI, it will really enrich the process. Now, at this moment, it's more of adding new data or how to analyze the data is what's happening. And we all have noticed that the accuracy of the knowledge and is rapidly going up. Many of us currently is just using AI. What they usually they don't like to use it, or if you're gonna be using it, they're using it more like a search engine and or some grammatical edit type of situation. But I do foresee that AI is going to be much more efficient of curating knowledge, or not only that, they could go even beyond of imagining new hypotheses that we did not envision because of we were not able to capture the knowledge already that's being which is already there. So I'm excited about the AI. And the question is, because of the AI being really getting incorporated into cancer research and patient care pathway very rapidly, the question is, what is the role of human being? And some people are very much concerned about it. I am more optimistic that the human being will have enough brain that would be even more intelligence than the AI in a different manner. It's not about analyzing the data, but putting this different connection that would change. So let's go to the like translational research and drug development. That's what I do. AI-driven medicinal chemists, AI-driven biology that shapes how we will be creating a central hypothesis. I think it would change every 2-year basis, and that's great. Patient care, same thing, that the care will rapidly continue to change every 1 or 2 years. And as it happens, thing that's really simple that could be done by any physician or any healthcare provider, I think AI could take over. And then we will have to find out what exactly do we provide as a healthcare provider. And those are mostly either trying to be more imaginative in terms of the care that we provide or research, or we have to be more compassionate and empathetic in terms of our care. I don't have a really unique to breast cancer, but it's really more in cancer in general. So if we want to really accelerate discovery to clinical application, there is a need for people who conduct basic research or population science. They need to have much more, uh, they have to really engage more with the clinicians. And clinicians really have to engage more with basic science and population science. I would have to say that we still remain to be somewhat segregated. And despite that, we say we know each other, but when we talk about each of our research, we don't understand very well. And that gap that we have, and due to we speak different language, it's really have a significant impact in outcome. Now, if you say particularly in breast cancer, not only to the clinician, the breast cancer is one of the area that patient advocates are very strong and they're engaged in multifaceted way. So I would really say that getting that patient advocate, advocate that really could become more of a community scientist, engaging and to the clinician and translational researcher, I think that would really help to accelerate our discovery or implementation of our discovery. I mean, we haven't really started exactly, but I have been exploring about what we could do better for our staff and faculty, and of course, including trainee. And one thing that is really important for my staff or trainee or faculty is to really understand, why exactly we exist, which is really the core, the mission and the vision, and truly understanding the core values of the Cancer Center. And it's especially the University of Hawaii Cancer Center exists in underserved community. So we have to make sure that we truly understand our community, particularly the Native Hawaiian, followed by Pacific Islander and Filipino, which is underrepresented comparing to white and white and Far East Asian. And and this means that not just doing outreach, but we need to understand their cultural background, the gap that exists, and ultimately, particularly for the trainees and faculty, understanding their component with developing a leadership skill is important. And leadership skill is generally not about teaching about direct leadership, but having a high self-awareness of where you stand and understanding your personal mission and vision. So I do hope that each of the faculty and trainee all have their own mission and vision, and they understand the core values of the Cancer Center, and they know their own core values that allows for them to grow. Now, I do like to see that more structure as a teaching opportunity, but that has yet to happen at this moment. So I have to say that it's always in my mind, but um, at this moment, it's more of I'm showing, so I'm making changes in the area for people to um, understand our institutional mission and vision and core value, and bringing in Native Hawaiian culture in our cancer center. So my first story that drove to medicine is not very attractive because I was not interested in medicine. It was more of when I was a high school, uh, I was strong in math and probably like physics, chemistry, and biology, and therefore I was drove to more of a scientific pathway rather than non-scientific pathway. And then once I got into the scientific pathway, I was looking like, well, what is a job that will be stable and able to make reasonable uh, way of you know how you I could have a stable income type of thing. Truly not more attractive. But one thing I could tell you is that once I got into med school, I was really truly attracted to basic science. I was interested in really patient-centered care and holistic part of looking as a whole human being. And so when I picked my specialty, um, I was kind of initially struggling between medicine and OBGYN, and I decided in OB medicine, but even medicine, you, you the choice was not to specialize and do general internal medicine or to go into non-organ specific specialty. So I was not interested in like cardiology or gastrointestinal or pulmonary because they were very organ specific. So cancer was one of the few areas that it wasn't just cancer, but cancer and the whole in the person. So that's drove me into oncology, and the rest is kind of history. And I met the right people like Dr. Gabriel Hodabaji, Min Chi Han, and they because of the people I met, it's kind of I went into trans breast cancer. I also did stem cell transplant because those days that stem cell transplant, high dose chemotherapy was indicated in breast cancer, and there was this allogeneic transplantation, which is really the beginning of the immunotherapy in breast cancer. But of course, it was very toxic. But we did show some what we call the cell therapy could actually shrink the tumor, and that was in the mid 90s. And so those are the elements, and then I end up having two cancer, and did that impacted my work? But by that time, I knew I was I was passionate what I was doing. But what was different is that including drug development, clinical trials. Not that I was the lead of everything, but I was part of these clinical trials, and I ended up taking some of the medications that I was conducting clinical trials when I was in a junior faculty. So, I'm feeling myself that every publication, we have to take it seriously, and I myself recognize that every publication does not always mean that it's going to lead to a clinical development. Clinical development does not mean it will get FDA approved, but if somebody doesn't do the job, we don't even have options. And if you don't have the options, it will impact somebody. So it's not about the getting a high impact paper, but making sure that you publish in a way that you prove the hypothesis is correct or wrong. Wrong is okay, and those are important because every you don't want to lie, and obviously you want to make sure that you put an honest, transparent data out there that allows to tell you that whether the science is progressing. And it does matter to me because it really mattered to my survival. And so it matters to a lot of people. So